Hi, my name is Jacqueline Rose, and I do not think it's a coincidence that you're here. I think you're meant to be here. So if this message resonates with you, click like and subscribe to my channel. This channel is about everything spiritual and much, much more. So today I'm going to talk about 5 signs you're going through a spiritual awakening. Okay, I, first of all, didn't know I was going through a spiritual awakening. I thought I was going crazy, and that's sign number 1. I kind of was like, why am I thinking the thoughts that I'm thinking? If I think this way and I tell this to anybody, they're going to think I'm nuts. And so you start thinking about life differently. You perceive the way that reality works in a different form. Basically, I've always, all my life, believed that I was a spirit in a body. Didn't really understand what that meant, but I did believe that I was a soul. And once I started to dive deeper into that, your whole reality changes. You know, it all is like, oh, I'm a soul and I've been sent here for a mission. And I know that sounds crazy, but I've been sent here for a purpose. And you start to realize the stories that we have been told in society are untrue. And the way people perceive religion or religious text have been fooled with, and really everything around us when it comes to different backgrounds and cultures and religion has really been telling the same story, but people have been interpreting it in a different way. And that's why there's all this confusion. And when you really start to think about that, you're like, this is really crazy, you know, like what? Because the way you perceive life and your life is completely different. So that's the first sign, is you think you're going a little nuts. I say that I've told people this story over and over again. Like, I literally Googled, am I going crazy? Thank the Lord, when I Googled it, all this spiritual awakening stuff started coming up. It was like, am I going crazy? And this spiritual awakening, I was like, well, what are they talking about, spiritual awakening? And I started watching videos and researching spiritual awakening and ascension. And I was like, this is exactly what's going on in my brain. And so luckily, and I was going to therapy, so I went to my therapist and I was like, okay, what's up with this whole spiritual awakening? And she was like, yeah, you perceive life differently. Sign that you are going through a spiritual awakening is that you can't watch anything negative anymore. I organically stopped watching any trash TV, I was like years invested in Housewives. I knew everything about them and what they did and that drama and all the political drama and every celebrity thing. Like, I was the girl. Like, I knew it. You needed to come to me. I got the gossip. And I just couldn't watch it anymore. And that's still a thing. I can't really watch a lot of negative TV shows. I cannot watch the news. I don't want to know about the news. I want to keep somewhat informed, and I do, but really I always say I've done my part. I voted. I will constantly vote and do as much as I can, but if I engulf myself in this negativity, it affects me greatly, and I can't do that. That's not productive. I have to be in a positive vibration to even affect the world. So that is definitely a huge sign of a spiritual awakening. Number 3 sign that you're going through a spiritual awakening, you have no interest in gossiping anymore. Now, this was big for me because I used to call up my friends and be like, tell me the gossip. What's up, girls? I need to know about everything. And now I don't really want to gossip or really, I mean, I like to help people with their problems, but I'm not one that is just going to sit around and, like, I don't know, just talk about our problems. Like, it's good to talk about our problems and try to figure out solutions, but I don't want to gossip about other people per se. Not that I'm better than anybody. I just feel like it's not productive. If I am talking about somebody or trying to figure out things about people, it's usually because I have this calculated type of mind of like, where did these traumas happen? And I try to like unfold stories for people. Like, I start to understand people's patterns. My brain opened up to patterns, okay? And I see people's patterns that they cannot see within themselves. And then I see my own patterns, which is lovely. Okay, so that is the number 3 thing. You do not want to gossip about anything. It's just not productive. Number 4 sign that you're going through a spiritual awakening is you start to see your own negative patterns. And that's what I was talking about. I think some people call it the dark night of the soul. and you start to see all the negativity that you have caused on other people. And it's hard to come to grips with, like, and I'm still not positive. I can see, like, how people can think some of the things that I do today could be, you know, a negative thing that I'm doing to them. But I started to notice all this negativity about myself. It started coming up. I started seeing these negative patterns. I started seeing how I, had these negative patterns that I was unintentionally putting on my son, or how I was reacting to my husband that was negative. Like, I was seeing my part in everything, and that's really hard to really see your part in everything. Even when I was a child, I was seeing these patterns. I was literally reliving these things in my head and having to come to grips with them and realize that I really did affect people in negative ways. But the good part of seeing these patterns and seeing this negativity within yourself is, now that you are aware of them, you can change them. It is up to you, because there are so many people that are not aware of their own behaviors. And if they are, they justify them. And that's okay to justify them. There's a lot of things that I did because I picked them up as a child and I thought that it was right and I justified it. But once I noticed it, I woke up and I noticed it, I knew that I also had a choice to not have those behaviors, and I could act and react differently. So it's great for awareness, but at the same time, it's like, it's the truth. It's a truth about your own personality, and that's a hard pill to swallow, but it's also such a gift too, because now you no longer give your control over to somebody else. And number 5 sign that you're going through a spiritual awakening is synchronicities. This is the magical part of it, okay? I love the synchronicities, and I still get them all the time. All the time. So synchronicities are things that happen, like certain things, like Three Little Birds song would come on in my life, like when it was a really emotional time for me. It meant something to me major, like that song means a lot. I have, you know, taught my son that song. I've done videos on that. And then I had a story come up about my best friend. That song came on and a need for him. That was a synchronicity. That was a match for me. Numbers are huge. I see numbers like crazy. 111, 222, 333, 444, 555. And especially in times where something major is happening in my life. Like, sometimes I would, like, just something would excite me and I just look over and I see these 222 and I was like, what the fuck? Like, this is crazy. And synchronicities with music, you're feeling these songs and you're feeling this I don't know, this love in your heart, and all of a sudden a song will come on and it will say the same things that were in your brain. I talk about that synchronicities a lot with my life. I would go back and do this life review in my head, and I would see the synchronicities of, like, signs when I was younger. And instead of blowing them off like I did when I was younger, I was like, oh my God, this was leading me the whole time, and I never noticed it. Synchronicities are huge, and they go on for me all the time. Like the other day, some people see it as coincidence. I was looking up this little girl that I was watching a movie about. She reminded me of a niece that I have. She looked a lot. So I was like, oh, let me look her up. And so I looked her up. This literally happened last night. I looked her up, and I was, her birthday was the same birthday as mine. And okay, that's a coincidence to some people, but like, these are the little synchronicities that, like, kind of just catch your attention. Things will catch my attention that when you are asleep and you're not spiritually awakened, you don't notice them, or you brush them off as coincidence. Nothing is a coincidence. Everything is happening for a purpose. I hope this helps you feel like you're not crazy, because you're not. I hope you feel like there is a community out there of people, because this is the main reason I started this station, is because I wanted people to feel like there was a community, and so many people have made me feel like I was part of their community, and I thank you for that. I hope you have a wonderful day. Much love. Holler for a motherfucking dollar. Peace.